All right, shalom, shalom. First off, I want to give all praises, all honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakudash. Double honor to the apostles and elders, great millstone who rule and teach well, who also taught us 100% true. Shalom to the whole elect. I'm the brother Kasada from the GMS Atlanta Church, back with another quick lesson, Lord willing, this is edifying lesson. Now going to this lesson, it's an article that I've seen pertaining to Iran and the U.S., all right? And also the small hats over there in the land of Israel. This is the title of the article. It says how the Iran war could go nuclear, in which eventually it will. All right, pertaining to those ICBM missiles, man. All right, it says the U.S.-Israeli war with Iran continues to expand and escalate after 3 weeks of fighting, right, raising fears that the conflict could yet cross the nuclear threshold, either through the use of weapons of mass destruction or disaster at a nuclear power plant. All right. And ultimately, these things are going to take place. But the main and most important part is, all right, those weapons, all right, in which that's Esau's sword, in which, Russia is going to be a big brother to these smaller countries, pertaining and primarily to Iran. All of these things are according to prophecy. All right, going into Ezekiel chapter 38. All right, it mentions how Russia is going to be, all right, a big brother, all right, to these smaller nations, all right, to going against the NATO and EU, but ultimately against Babylon the Great, aka America. All right, it says more than a dozen countries are directly involved in the conflict, with most of the world affected by the economic shocks. There is little sign of any side backing down. Donald Trump is threatening to finish off Iran. Israel remains intent on destroying the regime in its governing infrastructure, and Iran is determined to restore deterrence and settle the war on its own terms. Mediators say there is no meaningful diplomacy towards the end of the war. Warning signs are flashing. This week, the UN nuclear watchdog warned that the projectile has struck the premises of Iran Bushehr nuclear reactor, threatening a Fukushima-level disaster. All right. Current and former U.S. officials, include Trump advisor David Sachs, have warned that Israel could be preparing to use its undeclared nuclear arsenal. Meanwhile, Iran's stockpile of highly enriched uranium remains largely unaccounted for. The World Health Organization has said if its staff are participating in drills for the worst case scenario. And ultimately, man, going into those missiles, but that's what it's going to come down to. Originally, yeah, these people are seeing prophecy here. Now you people are seeing what's about to befall, but not only Iran is going to use them these missiles, all right, these weapons, but you're going to have Russia, China, Korea, all right, Australia. You're going to have all these countries, the EU nations, Africa, so on and so forth. All these nations are going to use these weapons, man. All right, especially on Babylon the Great, aka America, man. All right, that's what it's going to come down to. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and grab some scriptures. All right. Let's grab Joel chapter 2 and verse 1. It says, blow ye the trumpet in Zion. All right. Talking to you Israelites, giving you the warning. The Lord is telling us to give you a warning. All right. And sound an alarm in my holy mountain. All right. Who's the Lord holy mountain? Israel. All right. You Israelite, which consists of you Native Americans, Latinos, and Negroes. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of Yahweh coming. For it is nigh at hand, a day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness. As the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and a strong There hath not been ever the like, neither shall there be any more after it, even to the year of many generations. A fire devoured before them, and behind them a flame burneth. The land is as the garden of Eden before them, and behold, them a desolate wilderness. Yeah, and nothing shall escape them. Yeah, it's going into those missiles, man. All right, going into ICBM missiles. The appearance of them is as the appearance of horses. Yeah, horse symbolizes power. All right, and as horsemen, so shall they run. Like the noise of chariots on the top of mountains, shall they leap. Like the noise of flame of fire that devour the stubble. See, all right, these things are going to be flying over these mountains all the way to get to this land. As a strong people set in a battle array, before their face the people shall be much pain. All faces shall gather blackness. They shall run like mighty men. They shall climb the walls like men of war, and they shall march every one on his way, and they shall not break their ranks. Yeah, there's nothing going to stop these things, man. All right. Not the Iron Dome or however Esau want to call it. None of these things are going to stop these projectiles from accomplishing the Lord's mission. All right. Neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk every one in his path, and when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. They shall run to and fro in the city. They shall run upon the wall. They shall climb upon the horses. They shall enter into the windows like a thief. All right. The earth shall quake before them. So what's causing this? What's going to cause these type of things, man? All right. We're going into it. All right. All these things are symbolic. The prophets and the men of the Lord are describing these projectiles the best way they can. They don't know them as missiles. It's not going to say that. That you got some simple Jake out there that, oh, well, let's not talk about missiles. Man, it says the earth shall quake before them. The heavens shall tremble. The sun and the moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. And Yahweh shall utter his voice before his army, for his camp is very great. For he is strong that executes his word. For the day of Yahweh is great and very terrible. And who can abide it? Yeah, who can stop it? No one. All right. No one is going to stop these things, man. No one. All right. It's going to be a dark day. It's going to be a sad time for a lot of you people, man. A lot of you people going to be weeping and wailing and gnashing of teeth, man. Crying in that day because you did not pay attention, man, to the prophets. I'm talking about you Israelites, all right? The rest of you heathens, man, to hell with you. But we talking about 2/3 of Israel, all right? So let's grab some more scriptures, okay? Let's get this Zechariah 14:12. It says, and this shall be the plague wherewith Yahweh will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Yeah, they're his people. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand on their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. What's causing these things, man? What in your mind, what's gonna cause something like this? Your flesh and your eyes and your tongue to be consumed away. All right, it's gonna be like Sarah Connor on Terminator, man. All right, this is Revelation 18:8. It says, therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. Who? Babylon the Great, aka America, man. For strong is Yahweh power who judgeth her, and the kings of the earth who committed fornication and lived deliciously with her. Yeah, these other nations who dealt with America, which all these nations have dealt with America, man. All right, they're gonna cry over her, man. Shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning. Yeah. See? These nations going to turn on her. And then after they turn on, they're going to cry about it. All right? Stand afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city Babylon, the mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. Yeah, it's going to happen in 1 hour, man. All right? It's going to happen. It's going to be fast, man. All right? And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore. Yeah, America is known for being a consumer nation. All right. The merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones and pearls and fine linen and purple and silk and scarlet and all dying wood and all manners of vessels of ivory and all manner vessel of most precious wood and of brass and iron and marble and cinnamon. Yeah, you get the point, man. All these things, these people are going to cry. All right. Because there is no nation, of course, there's no nation that's like America. Yeah. But this is the land of the wicked. And it has to be destroyed, man. Right. Thus says the God of the Bible. Thus says Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai. All right. Because this place is wicked, man. All right. And it's going to be judged for what is done to the Heavenly Father, first off, and his only begotten Son, and also to the Israelites, man. And you other nations, just because we're just talking about America doesn't mean these other nations won't get touched either. All right. They're still, these heathen are going into captivity, man. Few nations going to be hit with those ICBMs, so trust and believe, yeah, from America, but the judgment is going to be primarily this place of Babylon the Great, aka America, because these nations are going to understand, all right, the Lord's judgment. All right. This place is going to be an example of how not to be, not just only to you Israelites, to us Israelites, but to these other heathens too. OK. So ultimately, Lord willing, this was edifying. I want to give all praises, all honor and glory to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, great millstone who rule and teach well, who also taught us 100% truth.